subscribe, donate, visit my channel. Making this live because I want to do a review of Dragon's Dogma. And sorry I don't have the proper setup or the proper equipment, because I would like to show like if I did have the proper setup, like the proper streaming, the proper everything at the moment, because I'm modifying my basement, so I haven't really created a gaming room experience or environment, right? I would like to show the video, or the video by video or step by step of what I mean in this video, right? Because I want to review Dragon's Dogma or Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, I played the first Dragon's Dogma and I love the series, but it seems like you can't do both things at the same time in this day and age. Like, you can't have love for a video game and at the same time give it an honest critique, from my point of view, in my opinion. Same thing with a lot of games like Battlefield, even Remnant 2. Like, if I go on Reddit post right now, right, and I give an honest criticism about Battlefield 2042, or if I give an honest critique about Remnant 2, or I give an honest critique about any game, if even if it's Halo or the Halo series, because like with the Halo series now, right, I give an honest critique about how I felt about the show, and that I like the show, and it's gonna rub the Halo fanboys the wrong way, fanboys and fan gals the wrong way. Even though I'm a Halo fan person, I'm a big Halo fan. I'm one of the Halo OGs. I've been playing since Halo 2, when the Xbox first came out. You know what I'm saying? And I give an honest critique about that. People may have liked it, may not like it, but that's me. Like, I could have love for something and give you objective thinking and even subjective thinking or personal thought, and I could come at it from any angle, because that's what it means to have critical thinking or comprehensive thinking. That's what it means to be balanced. That's what it means to be a man of masculinity, is that you look at things from different angles or perspectives, and you give an honest critique about those things. Now, my review about Dragon's Dogma 2. First of all, I like to appreciate the studio. Hold on, let me because I have it on running on my TV. Hold on. I want to show appreciation to the studio that made Dragon Dogmas 2 for coming out with a version of the game for the modern console, for modern people, or up to the times. I really appreciate them coming out with the game with a title for this genre or this era. I shouldn't say genre, this era, right? Because with Dragon's Dogma 2, it came out I think the Xbox One, if I remember correctly, and it was a great game in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I like, what they added into this one, they added more of the races. Like, they added the cat people or the beast people in there. If they was going to go that direction, they should have just added all the races in there, like Argonian, or do something similar. Not similar to Skyrim exactly, but added different races in there, like orcs or whatever you want to add in there, which probably is going to come more later on in DLC. We don't know yet. But I do appreciate the graphics. I do appreciate the different vocations, which was what they had in the first one. I do appreciate hunting, being able to hunt monsters and all that good stuff. Because what I like about games like this with that RPG action adventure style is that you can sit back and chill. It's not like with Battlefield or Call of Duty where you have to worry about your ADS time or your response time or whatever. With Dragon's Dogma, you could kind of sit back and chill and play the game. And there's some intense moments in Dragon's Dogma, like if a wolf jumps out of nowhere and attacks you, you know what I'm saying? It could be the end of your life. Especially if they gang up and crowd control you or crowd jump you. You know what I'm saying? And, when the wolves grab you by your hand and pull you off somewhere and bite you, there should be a way to break that. And, there should also be a way for when the trolls grab you to break that. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like when they grab you, it's a one kill thing. It shouldn't be that way. I like how, of course, Dragon Dogma's graphics are going to be upgraded to fit the time. You know, it's Xbox Series X. So the graphics for Dragon Dogmas 2 is going to be suited and booted for the time. For those of you who are coming in here, click the like, click the subscribe, donate to the donate to the podcast or the show. Thank you very much. Right. I love the scenery. I love, you know, when you go from, what's it called? Ventura? I don't know how to say the name. It starts with the V. That city that starts with the V. Ventura? Let me look at it because I have it on my map. All right. Like, when I have a better setup, trust me. Hold on. Let me get my other controller. The controller's linked to the game. Give me 1 second. And we're back. Okay. All right. Like right now, when you're traveling from Betal, whatever you say that one. You travel from there and you go through like the desert wasteland, kind of. I love that scenery and the graphics of that, and you get to fight like 2 trolls. And when you're traveling from the checkpoint rest town and then going from that place to, let me see, Vernworth. Yeah, Vernworth. There we go. I like that. Like, and I like the combat, even though the combat mechanics, it could have been upgraded or it could have been something different, like with the combat mechanics, right? Even though I get the idea of them having wanted to be like, you know, when you play a fighter, they want you to make you feel like a fighter, like it's defensive. Or you play like an archer, they want you to make you feel like it's an archer. Or you play as the rogue or the thief, they want you to make you feel as if it's a thief. But they could have still innovated up to the times. Like if you're going to upgrade the graphics up to the time, upgrade the combat system to the time. Like I would love to see a dodge. I would have loved to see a dodge, roll, or evade system within Dragon Dogma. Like nobody can convince me that while you're playing the archer, right, and one of those goblins jump at and rush you, and they're kicking you on the floor. Nobody can tell me that you wouldn't want your character to be able to dodge, slip, or roll, especially if you're playing an archer. You want to dodge out the way to create space so you can pull off what you want to do. Let me make my face look good. Come in, click the like, click the subscribe, share the link, all that good stuff, right? You can't tell me, like, if you're playing as an archer, right? And for those of you who've played the game, this is why I don't like Reddit. Like, I like the honest criticism, and I can accept the honest criticism, but, like, when people, when you make an honest critique and you put it on Reddit, and the Reddit users going, instead of them putting it from objective thinking, they're going, oh, nothing is wrong with this, or nothing is wrong with that. I'm like, have you played the game? Have you not played as an archer? Or have you not played as a fighter? Even though the fighter has defensive stuff, you can't really sit up there and click the defensive maneuvers that, like with the fighter, he has a shield, he holds up the shield, right? That takes away a lot of stamina. And by the time your stamina is drained, the goblins are already kicking you and already ganged up on you and crowd jumping you, right? So wouldn't it be better in that situation to be able to roll or dodge or evade out the way than sit there and waste your stamina? And then too, even with that, with the fighter, even though you have you can use the shield to defend, and there's a thing where you press B, or if some of you circle, or whatever button it is for the Sony players, you could switch the other side. You could switch the shield to the direction of where the other person is attacking you. But by that time, it's about 4 different goblins surrounding you and attacking you at that time. And even if you were to use something like perfect defense, that's still kind of taking away your stamina, where you could still have that stuff, but at the same time have the dodge, roll, and evade system. right? Even though when you're running, they give you like a dash thing where you could dash places, right? That's even stamina consuming, right? So when I made a post on Reddit, the people in there was like, yo, I have never really needed it. I never really needed in the use for a dodge system, even a targeting system for like the archer, right? Say you're walking down, you're going from Fenworth to Rest Point checkpoint time, and you're getting grouped up by a bunch of goblins, or for example, the golem, right? Because with the golem, what it does is it freezes and exposes its weak points. If you're the archer now, right, you should be able to pick or select your. Even though with the archer, they have something called steady aim. With the archer, steady aim, you could that kind of is a thing. But if you're outside the steady aim, you still should be able to pick your targets or weak points on the with a perfect targeting system. But when I see people on Reddit saying, "Oh, you don't really need it, or you don't really need a use for it," well, I don't think you're really playing the game, because if you're playing as an archer and then a wolf is jumping on you, a second wolf is jumping on you, the goblin is throwing stuff on you, you should be able to roll out the way with the archer. Since the archer is supposed to be a more mobile class, supposed to be more mobile, more swift sister class, this should be more of an evade or roll or dodge system for the archer. Same thing for the fighter. You know what I'm saying? Which I think the developers for Dragon Dogma could have innovated it and add something in there like that. But because there are a lot of people that's not, open-minded to innovation and making the game better than what it was, like that kind of system, I would expect in Dragon Dogma 1, because it came out a long time ago for a system that didn't have as much memory or power to do what they wanted to do with it. But now you have Dragons 2, which they could have added that system in there. Now, I love the game overall. I love the story. I love the vocations. I like the mage. I like the sorcerer. I like the pawns. But there's always something that you can add to the game to improve the gaming experience. You know what I'm saying? And that's my issue with a lot of people in general. They don't have, the foresight for innovation to make the product better than what it was. You know what I'm saying? So if Dragon Dogma 3 come out, for the developers that might watch this later on, a dodge, evade, and a roll system would be good for the game. You probably can't add it now because it'd be too much work. And maybe later on in the DLC, some type of DLC or update, they might add, right? So I have the same issue with the new season of Battlefield 2040. Well, not the same issue. My thing is with the Battlefield 2042, right? Is that, in my opinion, and I probably have to look at the damages with the SMGs and the assault rifles, or how they updated the guns now for Battlefield 2042. But to me, it's more aimbotting going on in Battlefield 2042. Like in Call of Duty, you could tell it a bit better because you get to see people's kill cams. But in Battlefield 2042, I don't know if it's the server connectivity, I don't know if it's the netcode, but it's like especially when you're playing against a PC player for Battlefield 2042, you could ADS faster than the other person, but the other person in Battlefield 2042 is going to catch you because of if they have an aimbot or some kind of thing where it lowers their recoil, they're going to kill you first, as if you're playing Call of Duty. Which in old school Battlefield, like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, even Battlefield 5, it was the person who ADS faster than the other person, right? Especially when it was just console to console players competing with each other. When it was just console versus console, you didn't really have that issue of, is this PC player? Because there are PC players that are really dead on accurate and got skills. So I'm not going to knock that. Right? But I have played in Battlefield 2042 as a console player for the Series X against PC players, and we're damn near skilled, right? And then you're playing against another PC player that is an obvious aimbot, shooting you from 500 meters away with a pistol and headshotting you too. Precision accuracy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if who's ever developing the DLC for Battlefield 2042, I don't know if they're taking tips from Call of Duty or whatever. But I don't like where that direction is going. And if the next Battlefield comes out, don't do that, EA and DICE. Stop trying to incorporate things from other games into Battlefield 2042. And I understand innovation. I understand the traversal sprint. I understand all of that innovation. But as far as the shooter mechanics, like that's the netcode, all that stuff in Battlefield 2042 needs to be fixed. Because I'm tired of every time I'm thinking I'm ADS and faster than another person, but because that person has an SMG and it has a higher fire rate, it's going to kill me faster than me if I aimed up quicker than him. Or if you're a PC player and you have a shotgun, you can headshot me from across the map with the shotgun. For those of you who are just coming in, click the like, click the share, click the subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your grandpas, and donate if you can. So back to Dragon Dogma 2, right? So yeah, like, especially like if you're fighting a harpies or like one of those big monsters like an ogre or a troll, and he's about to land on you with the mallet. As an archer or any vocation, you're supposed to be able to roll out the way and counter slip it with the knife, or roll out the way and put the shield up and block it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should be able to do. For those of you who say something in the chat, tell me what's up, tell me what's going on, engage yourself with the conversation. I'd like to hear your feedback on the topic. Click the like, click the share. Tell your mama, tell your grandpa, tell your brother. Yardie Gaming Nation is here. All right. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but especially with the archer, none of you guys can convince me that the archer doesn't need a proper roll and dodging system. Especially when them goblins decide to jump on you halfway across the map and hit you with the mallet. And in my brain, I'm trying to scramble what do dudes who are expert at these games is doing to prevent that. And you know what, something? If it was not for those pawns that follow you, a lot of you would see what I'm saying. You know, I know, because all my pawns died, and I had to traverse my character throughout the game with no pawns. And boy, did I really find out in that moment in time that this game really needed a dodge, evade, or slip system, or roll system in it. Boy, did I really learn it probably needed a targeting system, because at the moment, I didn't have any pawns, I didn't have a mage, or nothing. You see what I'm saying? And I had to go from travel from Venworth to West Point Town with no pawns. All my pawns died. I think there was and I recorded the video. So subscribe to my channel, because I think the video I scheduled to release tomorrow or Sunday. And I titled the video, "You Really Need a Pawns to Survive in Dragon Dogma 2." Because there was a situation where the bridge got destroyed, and my pawns fell in the water, and those red tentacles that come up and consume you in the water, they died. My main pawn died, and I had to go from Venworth all the way to West Point Town by myself with my own character. And I was the fighter, and boy, was it difficult. I died many times. I had to reload my game many times. So nobody can tell me that the game does not need a proper dodge, roll, or slip mechanic in there. It needs it. Try for those of you who are going to play the game with no pawns with you, and you're going to find out what I'm saying. Right? Especially if you're, again, I'm going to keep bringing up the archer. I'm going to keep saying it. When you're fighting as the archer, and you see a troll, one of the moves that the Minotaurs like to do, the Minotaurs like to charge at you. And there's no way for that archer to get out the way, so that charge move that the Minotaur doesn't affect you. There's no really way for the archer to counter that. Unless now he's going to roll out the way or dodge or evade it. See what I'm saying? But the problem why a lot of you guys don't have that issue is because you're walking around with your pawns. You're walking around with your pawns. You got your crew with you. Go fight a minotaur by yourself. I did it. I had to fight a minotaur by myself. I had to fight the. I remember going through, use the ox carrots to travel, and we had to fight an ogre by myself. Boy, was that difficult. And I might have to log up the original Dragon's Dogma to play that to see what's the difference between the two, and I'm going to do that. Because I played the first Dragon Dogma, I beat it, and I did a new game plus for that one, right? So, yeah, especially if you're a mage, because remember, mage is not really a physical; it's more magical. Unless now you're going to have the warfare vocation where you can swap around different weapons and different vocations with each other and different kind of rearrange how you want your character to be, which I'm going to go through that process right now. Right now I'm trying to find volcanic, I guess the volcanic city where you can find the guy that gives you the quest for the warfare thing. So I'm going to get that done, and I wish that I had the proper setup, because I'm trying to transfer my basement into a gaming room. So I'm trying to get the setup where I can stream and show y'all what I'm talking about. And I'm sticking with this right here. Still, I don't care what no Reddit user want to say. A lot of y'all Reddit folks on Reddit are real toxic people. Let me say that right here. A lot of y'all Reddit users are incels. A lot of y'all Reddit users, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm cool with constructive criticism. I'm cool with people responding with something constructive back. But now, I can tell you full of shit or you ain't playing the game. Or you're just complacent with whatever. I think what most people in today is that they accept they accept, what's the word? They accept bad quality games, or they accept bullshitting games. And if you even though I love Dragon Dogmas too, when you call out the bullshit in the game because everybody loves that bullshit in the game and they're afraid to say it, they get mad at you for calling it out. That's how sensitive society has gotten. I don't believe it touched the gaming with gaming. That you cannot have an honest critique. Like if I talk about the Halo TV series, yes, I agree that Master Chief should have never been over emotional, but I was cool with him taking off his helmet. I was cool with him taking off his armor in certain situations, like if he's on a UNSC ship or he's doing civilian stuff. You get to see the man or the masculine human being behind the armor and the Spartan. You see a human being. You get to identify, even though him wearing the armor, you can still feel the emotions behind the armor, but now you have more of a connection with not just the armor. You get to have a connection with the full 360 degrees of the man, John Master Chief. You have a connection with him being a human being, flesh, bone, and blood human being, and you have a connection with his armor now too. So you have a connection with the whole piece of the pie instead of just the armor, right? So with Dragon Dogma 2, hey, what's going on, Cuba? With how you feel about the conversation with Dragon Dogma 2, right? One of the main critiques I have about Dragon Dogma 2 is it lacking a dodge, slip, and evade system in it, mechanic in it. Hold on. 1 second. Yeah.
Do something for mommy now.
Not right now.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
no any TV panel dresser to come up here
You have to wait.
in the living room.
Wait.
And the window that's how you clean up the yard.
No, mommy, I don't have the time right now.
And I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the trash them there the window. That's why me have to clean up for a long time. And you go down there and open up the window. We cannot live so.
Whatever. Stop talking to me right now.
So when me tell us that you better start, I look how long that is.
Can you stop talking to me right now? Do you not respect me or listen to me?
You walk in. That's what the TV for.
Every time I'm streaming, somebody interrupt me. All right. Anyway, so back to what I'm saying. With Dragon Dogma 2, the dodge, flip, and evade mechanic on it, right? So with that should have been some common sense to add to the game. Common sense. If you play the game yourself and you play as a fighter or archer or even the mage, even the warrior, you're gonna see it for yourself. I would have accepted it with the first Dragon Dogma one, not with Dragon's Dogma 2. That it lacks a certain mechanic or slip or evade mechanic where it's common sense with the devs. And you know what? Why I think the devs didn't put that in the game is because with how fragile people are in today's society. Because if they had added the dodge or evade system in the game, I think a lot of the guys who are fans of Dragon Dogma, which I'm a fan of Dragon Dogma. I played the first one. I think a lot of those guys, a lot of people in general, would have attacked Dragon's Dogma 2 for adding a system in the game that would have been beneficial. But that's why, see, now let's talk about something. Let's go into something else, right? This issue happened with Halo, right? I think a lot of these developers are afraid to add something new to the game because the people are not going to like it and they're going to rage on the game and they're not going to play the game. So one, if you add something to the game, when you have to spend money to add these things to the game, and two, if the fan base who they're presenting the game to doesn't buy the game, it's another waste of money. So same thing happened with Battlefield 2042 when they added the hero classes or the hero spec ops classes, right? When they added those classes into the game, because those classes were similar to, I think, Rainbow Six or Call of Duty, a lot of people hated Battlefield 2042, and because it didn't have the classic class systems of Battlefield 2042, a lot of people hated the game, right? Which I had no issue with the heroes. My issue with the heroes classes is that they should not have every tool. They should not have every gun, and it should be how they have the heroes, and then they have the class system there now. That's a cool setup with it, right? Like how you have you have the Asian chick that she can see through walls. You have Pac. You have their scout classes. So only the scout hero classes in Battlefield 2042, only they can use like the spawn beacon, the recon ball, and only like the guy that plays a sniper with the ghillie suit on. He can use the what you call the spy plane, the drone, right? So that's cool in Battlefield 2042, right? But not giving EA and DICE any excuses, they could have still made a very stable game, working game. And I think nobody would have had an issue with the hero plot thing. But I know why Battlefield 2042 did that, because that's where gaming was going. That's where the algorithm and the audience was going. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because if you look at Modern Warfare, if you look at Fortnite, if you look at a lot of these other games that's coming, even with Apex, you have hero classes that's there. So I understand why Battlefield 2042 was going, why they added that stuff in there. They could have still added that and put Battlefield 42 to it. But what Battlefield messed up with is that they added I don't know, other stuff with it, like with the shooting mechanics, which if you play Battlefield 2042, it feels like Call of Duty when you play it and not like Battlefield, right? So my main point is, same thing with Halo, right? And Halo Infinite, or not Halo Infinite, Halo 5, when they added the main complaint was how the Spartans looked, and the artwork and the art style, and like I think something with the sprint. People were complaining about the sprint shouldn't have been in Halo Infinite. Well, come on. Well, first of all, to speak about Halo, right? If Halo coming out for the regular Xbox 360, and Xbox One, because of the lack of technology or lack of powerful consoles at the time, or technological consoles at the time, they couldn't add the full capabilities of what a Spartan can do at the time, right? So as the consoles upgraded, going into Halo 5, they're gonna now they're able to add what a Spartan can do. A Spartan can like one of the things in Halo 5 where you was able to jump from the air, hold down the button, and you was able to power slam something. That's in the books. That's even in Halo Wars, right? So a lot of people, a lot of the devs, they're afraid to implement certain stuff in the game because they're afraid of they're going to lose a core audience, and it costs a lot of money to make games, which I can understand that as well. I can understand that. Two things can be true at the same time, right? Adding something in the game that the audience might not like, and you have to take that into consideration because you don't want to lose money, right? And at the same time, you have to figure out how to innovate and add something new for them to like in it. And that's why I think with Dragon Dogma 2, they're afraid to add certain things into the game, like a dodge or roll system into the game that would have made it better, a better gameplay experience, because I think it would have upset the core audience for Dragon Dogma, for Dragon's Dogma. Because I posted it on Reddit, and that was the response. I just simply said add a slip dodge or evade system to the game, and people was like, nah, it don't need to be added to the game, and you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Even though when you play the game for yourself, you see that it's needed. And the reason why I'm saying is because a lot of games like Dragon Dogma 2, like for instance, Elden Ring, and a couple other games prior to Dragon Dogma, they had those systems implemented in it. So now, if you're playing those games and that's what's been feeding the algorithm or the audience, right? You could have added that into Dragon Dogma. So the audience would have been used to it by now with Dragon Dogma 2, which it needs. So what I'm saying? So that's one of my big issues with the people, the audience in gaming, which I can understand it. I can understand that from the point of view you're a gamer and you're used to certain things in your core audience, your core audience, you're used to certain things in the game, and when they change up certain things, you're not gonna like it and you're gonna fall off. I understand that. That's what happened with Battlefield 2042. And I don't think it was I think the hero class, the hero specialization classes, it was part of it, but I think the core issue with Battlefield 2042, along with Halo and a couple other games, is that it wasn't a fixed, stable game like with Halo now, with Halo Infinite now, right? A lack of DLC content for the campaign, right? The multiplayer is good, but that's barely stable. And then now they're implementing what you call crossplay, where now the console players have to face PC players, which I really don't like, right? Battlefield 2042, same thing. Netcode issues, server issues, connectivity issues, barely being able to find players in the lobby issues. The same issues, but this is what's funny about with EA and DICE. You had the same problem with Battlefield 5, right? And you mean to tell me you repeated that same thing with Battlefield 2042? It doesn't make any sense. So it's the same core issues with these triple studio games, right? So yeah. So with Dragon Dogma 2, like overall, I like the game. I like the exploration. I like the how the armor looks. I like how I love the spawns. Like not the spawn. What do you call it? The pawns. My bad. I love the pawns. Right. I love how the pawns help you out in certain things. I love how if you give them like a specialization, like the forager specialization, and if you take a pawn from somebody else's pawn, and the fact when people use your pawn, right? If you set a quest for your pawn, and they complete that quest for the pawn, you get a certain item or some money, which I like that. I like that part about it. I like the vocations, even though I haven't found all of them yet. Like I said, I'm going to go to Volcanic City or whatever that place where the guy is, where you can get the warfare vocation. But yeah, that dodge, evade, and roll system. That's my cat. Cyrus cat. Everybody's is just interrupting me while I'm streaming today. What's up? Come here. Come here. Come here. I'll show you my cat. Hold on. See him? There you go. Up. So what's up? My cat right here. Siamese cat. What's up? What's up? All right. Let him back down. So click on my channel. I'm gonna put up the recordings of my gameplay on the channel. Check it out. This is Kish Yardie Gaming Nation. Tell your friend, tell your uncle, tell your mama, tell your brother, tell your pops. Click the like, click the share, subscribe, donate, support your boy. Because as the channel grows and as I grow, I'm going to be the new king on the block. King Yardie. All right? See, what's the word should I say? See ya. I'll see you another time. Peace out.